Not many full-size luxury and premium SUVs can flaunt themselves as being a household name in India. And then there's the Q7. I call the Q7 a household name in India because even someone who's not interested in cars or have limited knowledge of cars, they know about the Q7 because at some point of time their favorite celebrity was driving a Q7. They might have seen their favorite celebrity getting down at the red carpet in the Q7. And I still remember seeing my first Q7. It was so grand, it looked massive and oh so regal. Now fast forward 2 decades and this is the newly launched Q7. This is not a new generation though. It is the second major facelift for the second generation model. For the uninitiated, the second generation Q7, it arrived in 2015 and the first major update for it was launched in India in 2021, a couple of years late owing to the pandemic. But now this was a perfect time to get in the third generation model, right? Because it's been here for a decade now, but that's not happening. Now that we have cleared that out, this is actually a good update for the Q7 and this is the latest one that you can buy in India right now. So in this video, let us take a look at 3 reasons why you should get yourself the Q7 and 3 reasons why the Q7 isn't the best bet for you right now. Well, yeah, actually we are doing a first 3 reasons video for a luxury car on Car and Bike. So before we go ahead, do consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already and do let us know in the comment section below if you really like this format of the video of the 3 reasons and you want some other cars to be done in such manner. Now the first thing, as I said, this is the new Q7 that you can buy in India right now and the changes done to it are very subtle and only recognizable if you are a true hardcore Audi fan. But if you're not, let me give you a rundown on everything that's new over here. First up, you get a new front grille which is a single piece unit housing vertical inlays. It also houses the new 2D Audi logo and 2 really large sensor points which you might think is for the ADAS, but there's no ADAS here. More on it a bit later. Flanking the grille are the redesigned headlamps with Audi's matrix LEDs and a similar lighting signature seen on the Q8. Lower down, the functional air intakes are also new and go really well with the new design language of the car. Now move to the side and you also get bigger 20-inch alloy wheels which are finished in all silver. But I really wish there was a better design available as an option, even if it's paid extra, because these ones they look quite plain Jane. But that's not the case here and these are the only ones that you can buy. At the back, there's a new lightning signature for the tail lamps as well as functional trapezoidal exhaust tips. You have 5 color options to choose from and 2 cabin themes as well, brown and beige. Talking about the cabin, the changes here are little to none. Keen-eyed purists will notice a newer wooden inlay and a slightly updated interface to Audi's MMI system. And that's all the updates that you get here. But you know, Audi says that 60% of the Q7 buyers, they are a repeat customer. And so if you happen to own a Q7 or any Audi for example, but let's take an example of the Q7, be it the first generation Q7, the facelift of the first gen, or even the second generation or the facelift for the second gen, and you want a new Q7 in your garage, then this is it. Now all those updates aside, this one, it's still a Q7. It's one of the few cars that is recognizable on its own. They don't require a brand identity because they are a brand on its own. It's one of the few cars in India that can do that. It might appear to be a bit lost in the sea of large SUVs that you can buy in India right now, but the Q7, it's still large, which means it has a road presence. Everything that makes it a Q7, be it the shape, the proportion and dimension, all of that has aged well, if you ask me. Even on the inside, the Q7 is very spacious. Now Audi says most of the buyers will be spending the time up ahead, but we know that the buyers, they prefer the second row, and the owners who are affording this car, they will be spending most of the time here. So what you get is a cabin that's really spacious, has a very airy cabin feel to it thanks to the large windows and a panoramic sunroof. There's acres of leg room, even the headroom is not bad, and more importantly, it has a third row of seating. Now the rival rivals, the direct rivals, or actually the natural rivals for the Q7, they are the GLS and the new X7. But since they are a generation ahead, they are more expensive. So for the price of Q7, the rivals that you're looking at are the GLE from Mercedes-Benz and the X5 from BMW, apart from the Range Rover Velar. Now all these three SUVs, they offer you only 2-row and 5-seater option. The only other two cars that you can get at the price of the Q7 that get you 3-row seating is the Volvo XC90 and the Land Rover Discovery. Both of them are pretty old as well. Now the third reason why you should consider buying the Q7 is because of the way it is to drive. Now admittedly, with this facelift, there are no changes done to the powertrain. So what you get is a familiar 3-liter turbocharged V6, which makes around 335 bhp and 500 Newton meter, and it's paired to the Quattro all-wheel drive via an automatic transmission. Now the good thing is the 0 to 100 kmph time, it has gone down from 5.9 seconds of the outgoing model to a 5.6 second timing. Now I'm not sure how Audi has deducted that 0.3 seconds off the acceleration time, because there are no changes done to the engine. But I can say that the engine, it's really smooth and it's very well refined as well, especially at the city speeds. Now there is a bit of a turbo lag, I admit, but once out on the highway and at triple-digit speed, this engine feels sufficiently powerful. More importantly, it is a good engine to have. It's a very good powertrain for your everyday usability as well as intercity travels. There are many drive modes here as well. In fact, you get 2 dedicated off-road modes here. There's Eco and Comfort, apart from Sport, which goes by the name Dynamic. Now the throttle response, the steering and the suspension all undergo noticeable changes with the change in each drive modes. Although the steering is light for such a huge car, it is helpful when maneuvering it in the city confines. The gearbox is also smooth shifting, but could be a bit quicker. Same for the suspension, where thanks to the air suspension it is well absorbent, but I wish it was a bit more plush, especially in the comfort mode. Lastly, the Q7 comes with Quattro all-wheel drive as standard. We haven't gotten a chance to take it off-road in the limited time that it is with us, but we know that it is capable when the road starts to disappear. It might not do a very hardcore off-roading like a proper 4x4, but it is a capable SUV to have in your garage. So now, after discussing all the reasons why you should buy the Q7, let's take a look at some of the reasons why you shouldn't. And now we start by saying that the Q7, it's a veteran in the industry, right? It has been around for quite some time now, so it knows what this segment needs and it will deliver it exactly how much it's needed, right? Well, to an extent, yes. The Q7, it is a feature-loaded car. You get matrix lamps, all-wheel drive hardware, air suspension, a large panoramic sunroof, an electric tailgate, electric front seats, ambient lighting, a touchscreen for the 4-zone climate control, an ionizer with perfume dispenser, Audi's proprietary phone box, and a 730-watt 19 speakers Bang & Olufsen sound system. You also get a 360-degree camera, 8 airbags, automatic parking, and cruise control. But on the flip side, despite costing so much, the Q7, even after the second update, it still doesn't offer ADAS. It offers you lane departure warning, but there's no lane keep assist, there's no autonomous braking, there's also no adaptive cruise control. Now Audi says the Q7 is ready for the ADAS, but it's not provided here in India because the Indian condition is not yet ready for it. Now cars costing quarter of what the Q7 does, they do offer full suite of ADAS, and Audi not providing that, it's not a good move. Now, apart from that, the Q7 still doesn't get a few very basic features of creature comfort. For example, both the front seats, they don't get heating or ventilation even today. The second row of seats they could do with electric adjustment. You still don't get a heads-up display here. Now this entire cabin, it's built to last. It has aged well. The quality of material is top-notch. But this entire interface of the MMI, the virtual cockpit, it has started to age a bit. There's no seat massager either, and the previous version it came with an optional rear seat entertainment screen that's not offered at the moment. So overall, Audi needs to realize that the goalpost has moved and a veteran like the Q7 shouldn't be caught behind. Now, the second reason of not getting yourself the Q7 is a lack of powertrain choices. Now, admittedly, this V6 petrol engine, it's really good and it will never give you a reason to complain. However, the heart of the Q7 has always been its diesel powertrain. Now internationally, the Q7, its entire lineup has been offered with a lot of powertrain choices. Internationally, you also get a 4.2-liter diesel V8. Heck, it even got a 6-liter V12 diesel at one point of time. However, globally, right now you can get the staple 3-liter V6 diesel, but we don't think we'll ever get a diesel powertrain in India at any point of time. But crucially, and it's a big crucial point, that the rivals, including the X5, the GLE, and even the Land Rover, all of them, they offer a diesel powertrain as an option. Now, they are a bit expensive, I admit, but if you really want a diesel for your requirements, that automatically rules out the Q7. And lastly, there's no hiding the fact that the Q7, it now definitely needs a generation change, because soldiering on for almost a decade without a generation change, it does not do well, especially when you have such a diversified set of rivals and a very small set of audience to target at. Now the next gen Q7 is coming though, in a couple of years time, where it will undergo a bit of a platform change. It will also accommodate a hybrid powertrain, because it will be the last ICE powered Q7. It will also bring in changes inside the cabin that will be inspired by the e-tron electric lineup. So in comparison to that upcoming Q7, this one, it will feel like a candle at a neon festival. So that's the 2024, or is it 2025? Well, either way, that's a new and updated Audi Q7 for you. It soldiers on all the strong traits that the Q7 has been following all these years, but this update, it could have been slightly more significant. It's of course good to drive, it has a very spacious and a very well decked up cabin, and it's also a very well-rounded product that the Audi purists can buy in India right now. Because the other flagship, the Q8, it's a bit one-dimensional and it's focused more on sportier customers only. But on the flip side, what it lacks is a choice of diesel powertrain. But there's no point of crying over spilled milk right now, because we're never getting a diesel powertrain with the Q7 ever again. And secondly, this Q7, it has a shelf life of little over 2 years until the radically changed next generation Q7 arrives. But if you want one, you should definitely go ahead and get this Q7, because the Q7, as I mentioned earlier, it is a household name in India. And that's all from me in this video. Hope you liked it, and if you did, do hit that like button and share this video with those who's looking to buy a luxury SUV under a 1 crore rupee mark. And if you have any other questions regarding the Q7 or any other car that I mentioned in this video, do write them down, and I promise we will definitely address them all personally. And if you have any other questions, or if you have any suggestion regarding this 3 reason video, and if you want to see any other car featured here, do write them down as well, and I will happily oblige. That's all from me in this video. This is Bilal signing off. Until next time.